give me 30 seconds to use the restroom and then finish your statement. I apologize. And then we'll talk over Matt Bands here, you're saying? Okay, I'll be
So
quick.
I'm down for that, Cam. We'll be good. Awesome. Is this like what is going on, everybody? It is Laws. I'm here with Bible Clanger and Rich Money, and welcome to the A stream, where tonight we are going to be watching a very, very exciting match. It is time for Challenger semifinals. Who do we got here, Bible Clanger? What are we watching?
We're watching two actually really interesting teams. First one is the Upsetty Spaghetti franchise, and I'm really curious how this is going to turn out. They are number one right now in Challenger. So obviously on paper, you're always looking for the number one team to come out strong, and it's really going to be an interesting time here. They're up against the Masters, which is part of the Academics franchise. They are number 4, and yet the actual stats aren't really that far apart. They're actually not really that, there's not that big of a gap.
It's going to be a good match to watch. I think, certainly these teams, we know based on the seeding who we think will take it out. But right now we're going to be looking at Matt Bands, and Rich is here with us. Rich Money, tell us about it. What do we think about these maps and how this match might go?
Yeah, so these two teams, they matched up already earlier in the season with the new roster. ACA actually came out on top. So in this Challenger format this season, everyone played against each other. ACA came out on top on Nuke. Nuke was UPS's home map. NVC UPS picks Nuke as their opener. Anubis going to ACA here. Expected both those teams pretty comfortable on it. I would say this is one of ACA's home maps. Looks like, what do you have left? Inferno, Dust 2, Train. Both these teams, I don't think they've played Train in regulation, but they have reps on both Inferno and Dust 2. I could see the final decider going anywhere here. If I'm ACA, though, and I want to take down the top dog here, I'm trying to, hopefully I got a pocket somewhere. That could be a Train. UPS looks like they struggled mid-season on Dust 2. I'm probably going Dust 2 or Train for the decider there. So I'll ban Inferno if I'm ACA here.
Yeah, I like the map pool so far. I think obviously Anubis is going to be positive for both teams, but it's interesting that obviously UPS has gone with the nuke pick after their meeting, and obviously we can see the ban came in just as you said for Inferno. But yeah, it'll be up to them to decide where we're going, and it's Dust too. So we've got Anubis, we got Nuke, and if it has to happen, we'll get to the decider on Dust 2. Very interesting map pool. A little bit more exciting. Just, I feel like we get a lot of ancient sometimes in this
Yep.
kind of tier range, and an Anubis obviously is a pretty common one, but I'd like to see the Dust to a Nuke. And for me personally, I'd love to see this to go to 3 maps. I don't know about you guys, but I'm down to get talking.
Yeah, I'd love a good 3-map series, Laws. I think this is going to be a real fun matchup, and I'm ready to get rip roaring, ready to go. So
Very good. And do you have the stats on Dust 2 as to who has kind of maybe been a little bit more dominant on that map so far this season?
Yeah, let's head to head right now. I got nothing. Both of them have wins, both against really strong teams. Actually, both happened against Sav, I believe. First match of the season, ACA took them down 16-13. I believe we had a mid-season matchup between UPS and Sav, also a 16-13 win. I believe, though, that at one point Sav was up 12-7 against UPS here, and they kind of let it slid. No disrespect to those guys, but to me that says that Sav is no slouch team. Both these teams can play this map, and I think it's going to be a banger if we get to Dust 2. So excited for that.
Yeah, very much so. I think something to keep note of here is that we have two operas that have been having quite a lot of impact throughout the season. Obviously, Eclipse for ACA, but more so Freya for UPS, right? If we're going to a map like Nuke, especially the cider of Dust 2, I think the operas can have a very big impact on this matchup.
Totally, yeah, and I think when we talk about this op matchup, right, like there's been talks of Freya and the MVP conversation for Chally this season. I think that's well founded. I mean, she's been incredible. She's easily their most aggressive player, in it leads to a lot of success for this UPS team. Eclipse on the other hand for ACA really had a slower start to the season. ACA ended up making some like mid-season roster moves, couple trades. And it's really unlocked Eclipse towards this latter half. I mean, he was instrumental in the win over BS this Tuesday. Has some really important wins against, they destroyed OS. He was instrumental in the one over UPS early in their season. So it's gonna be a really fun match to watch, and I think it's gonna be a banger.
I think it will be a banger. Alrighty, so we're going to take a short break here while everyone joins the server, but when we come back, we'll be starting out on Anubis, and we're ready to see these teams go at it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually getting right underway, it looks like. So I guess I'll pass this right back to Laws.
They're just rushing down mid here, the T's with the pistols. We can't see what's going on, but we can look at the minimap and see that there's even trades there on the gunfights. Before I def myself. Nice pick there from Freya as they're heading in through cams, and the T's are 4 pushing into site as we get a fallback into storage there. 3v4 actually. Verx is 3 HP. Playing his life could be important here as we have a couple players low on the UPS side. But Kai, oh, nice tap there from Verx and only manages to get one. 3v2 for the T's as they seem to be managing with this pressure, but the 2 CTs are making their way through A main.
Yeah, it's real hard on these pistol rounds, right? As a CT on Anubis to really tackle the T side aggression if they run 5 up mid here, and UPS did a really good job of sort of just running it down and in there too.
Yeah, and Eclipse was going back there, but it's not going to be enough. Obviously, as you said, the Glocks are so hard to fight these days. I truly, absolutely hate every gunfight I take against a Glock. It feels like with the pace in which people are moving in CS2 and the way that you're getting peaked, it's really hard to deal with that mid-aggression. That's quite a common tactic, I would say, at the Chally level on Anubis.
Pistol rounds in general are just very chaotic. Even in CSGO, I know that some players have been complaining when they remember the good old days of the CS movement from previous versions, but this is what we've got now. Fast plays, you go very quickly, and if you do get into a 1v1, a lot of AD spam, and it's very hard to hit heads sometimes. It's just the nature of the beast right now.
Yeah, and obviously, as you're saying, like, you know, CS2 versus CSGO, but I think it's always been one of those things on pistol rounds. You never really know what happens with the lack of head armor, right? It can be quite a volatile round, and you can see there that the T's managed to storm in as they're starting to default out here on the second round. We got a full stack. Verx is calling his team to fully stack A, but as they're hearing util across the map, maybe they'll start to expand out. Looks like the T's are going to gamble their way towards B with a lack of presence from the early presence they showed towards B. And it looks like the gamble will be wrong from the Masters. They're going to push into an empty site here and get the bomb down. And it looks like this should be another round for the T's. Obviously, anything could happen when you have some players here like Verx with the dualies. Sees Freya.
ACA's got to go all together. I mean, going 1 by 1 here is going to be tough, and the SMG should just clean this one up.
Warriors gets 3. Nightmare tuck and tail in temple. See if they can get one on the way out.
He just wants to sit and make sure some of them die here, so fake out the defuse and maybe he gets one. They'll run away first.
Goes down to bomb and doesn't take anyone with him, and that's going to be the 2 rounds from the rip for UPS. Obviously, a nice way to convert that. We'll see what they're going to do into the bonus.
One thing I liked about USP's strategy right here, or UPS, excuse me, is that they were very careful. We see a trend here, in my opinion anyway, in CS2, where people are likely to win the pistol round and then throw away the second round. It's really should be in your favor, the conversion round, and yet for whatever reason it's very risky. So they took their time, they looked where they were going, made sure B was clear, and then took it together as a team. Very well executed.
Very much so, and also we can see the CTs have now fallen into a 2-1-2. Pretty normal setups, but the T's are going for something fast in A here. Kai is going to lead the charge. Obviously, 2 on site. Verx is close. Will they clear tarps? No. Nightmare gets the one from half wall. Verx gets the second. Jump in from Maxime. Low HP on the half wall player, and this could open right back up after the nice 2 kills there from the Masters. But the Camps push comes in. LW. No, that's Calf. Calf gets
huge.
1. But the trade comes back. Catches out Freya. The trades come in.
Wow.
And that's a win for the CTs. That's a thing I feel like I've been seeing a lot, especially in your series, actually, Rich, is that in CS2, a lot of the teams are getting the pistol, they're getting the second round conversion, but the bonus can be really, really hard to hold on to.
I mean, it's tough, especially when you look at like the money that the T's have versus the CTs. The CTs are basically, they're going to full buy into this third. The bonus is really tough when you're running into 3 rifles like this. And we saw that right there. The FAMAS is formidable post buff, and the M4s were able to kind of clean up the mess there. So, yeah.
And we got the op out from Freya. Very impactful player when they have that gun out. Looks like they're going towards T stairs, and the CTs are going to start with a 3-1-1 with some B main aggression. 6 is not ready. Who's 6? Verks is pushing up on Lissy here. Will Lissy be able to take this gunfight? But no.
Kill.
Great aggression from Verks, and still keeps the presence by dropping that smoke. And it's drawn a lot of the attention of the T's. But Verks pushes up, and that gets traded out. And I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that push after getting that early pick. And almost taking out another, but nice job from Eclipse to shut that down. Advantage to the CTs, but there's always a little bit of a power play when you have Freya on this op.
Yeah, I think UPS here needs to group around Freya, get her the pick with these rifles. The second you start spreading out on a map like Anubis, I mean, we saw it on my team series on Tuesday. You spread out too much, you lose one too many guys, and the rounds become really hard to lose, especially even on a T-sided map like this. So grouping up here is good, and they just got to hope for a nice pick here. So
We have Cap towards cams. See what they can do as the T's are walking up mid, looking to see if they can find anything. But Kev falls on back, and we have a 2-2 set up from the CTs.
there it is.
But there, pick from Freya opens up the A site, and they're going to push on through. Warriors is clearing the site, doesn't see storage, but Maxim takes the fight on Nightmare, and it is now an open site of 4-3. Now turns into a 3-2 advantage for
A main retake.
coming in is going to slow it down. See if the T's are aware that both of these players are here, but it's not going to matter, as it looks like they are saving.
It's a big round there for UPS. ACA looked like they had it kind of locked and loaded with those early picks on B main, and you know, UPS managed to turn around like we said with the Frey op there, and that's just how these runs go.
I mean, that pick is so massive, right? We see Cav fall back onto the site, and you think, all right, that's a nice way to play that, trying to be a little bit more passive and not getting picked solo, but then the pick comes in from Freya, opens up the round, Maxime finds the one towards storage, and that's pretty much the round over.
Looks like the Masters are contemplating buying. CT side economy always very rough when you lose a round like that, but the MP9, some people think it makes up for it. Some people still think the economy needs a little bit of a buff further than what Valve has done recently with the price changes to the guns and the buff to the FAMAS.
It seems like the economy just isn't suited for MR12 currently, but it's what we have to deal with for now as the T's set out on their default once again. They've had this kind of 1-2-2 setup where they're taking boats and canals control, and the CTs aren't putting too much effort to fight against it in the early round, other than that early B push that they had.
This Nightmare fight on A main is huge. He's got, you know, arguably gun advantage in a close scenario like that with the MP9. They need to flash in pretty effectively here. Maybe this Maxim, he's got to hard clear this.
Maxim's going to push in. Doesn't seem to clear the close left corner, but might be aware there could be a play. Nightmare pushing off the util, but goes down. Great effort there from Nightmare, but that might open up the A site. It looks like some more utils coming in. Great flash from Warriors there, taking out their own teammate. This is still Challenger, folks.
Yeah, that's a cool flash, actually. If you we throw that one, it actually full blinds the E-box player right there. Typically, Kai would be pre-aiming kind of into E-box, and he'll pop behind him. So, a little bit of a misplay there, but it's a great flash.
Looks like the T's are now grouping up full 5 towards B for a split here, but 3 CTs already there to welcome. Brooks gets one, LW gets one, Eclipse gets one. Everyone's chiming in. LWW's up and doubles up. And Lizzie goes down. Nice 3K there from LW to secure the round. It seems like after that kind of opening default, the CTs had a very good idea as to where the T's were going, as there wasn't much presence towards A after that kill comes in on Nightmare.
And no doubt this will raise the question, were the MP9s actually sufficient? Maybe the CT buy was actually fine for what they needed. But then again, obviously the real thing would be the read that the Masters had here. They knew where to go, they knew what to do, and they were all on the B-bomb side when they needed to be.
I mean, totally. I think you look at this, there's a meme that Verks, all he does is live VOD review, but there's some truth to that, right? I mean, clearly they had some inkling that they knew where UPS was going to end there.
Very much so, and they get the op on Eclipse, and we've talked about that already in this matchup, how important these ops are going to be. They flash Eclipse out B main and catching off Lissy early in the round.
Super important for ACA to get Eclipse going. I mean, I would argue he's their win con against Lissy and Freya and Maxim here, so pretty big.
Cav takes some shots and stairs there, but Freya lives to see another few seconds. And a nice dink back as Cav is going to back away. The IGL of UPS, Warriors is going to get off some shots. Let them know that I'm here too. And we have a nice slower default. It seems like UPS are approaching these rounds with quite a slow approach, understanding where the players are and then taking the space that they're given. And they've done exactly that towards mid. Cav is peeking, Warriors sees, but no shots exchanged as they almost agree to deal with it later on in the round. But an A main push comes through here. The CTs have the information that there's not going to be an A split currently, as both, well, it looks to be Nightmare and Verks are pushed up, and Nightmare's pushing the stairs, but this might be awkward timing.
That's tough. Things get a little weird now.
This is all kinds of weird. So you have controlling canals. The op on Eclipse is going to get Gush, but Lizzie, or LW, sorry, comes in to help. Eclipse get one on the op. Maxim takes him down, and LW and E-Box here.
Plant.
And the CT's clearing up. Nice shot from Kai there to kind of help out with the plant, but the flank from B main proved too much for the T's.
I think UPS should be happy with that round. They came in with very little in terms of guns purchased. They came in with Tech 9s. They managed to show presence in mid. They terrified the CTs, had to push them back, took the site, got the bomb plant. And yeah, they lost the round, but that's what you expect when you don't have much to work with. The bomb plant is huge. Their economy's right back where it needs to be, and they can run off with the lead if they play it right here.
We talked about CT side economy, and getting 3 is usually what you need on an eco like that. And, you know, we see the money there. Verks, if they lose this round, that's a bad buy next. Eclipse, bad buy. CAF, bad buy. I mean, that was big. That was big.
Big round, and we can see that CAF gets that spam on top mid. Quite a common fight, obviously, early in the round towards mid, and quite a common frustration for an IGL if your team goes down to that early. Anubis can be one of those maps where you lose a player early on T side and it feels like you get boxed in a little bit. But decisive calling here from Warriors as they work towards main, and they're going to boost Freya up, see if they can get a pick. And Nightmare goes down. Great pick over the smoke, and it's going to push them into the site with that pick. Freya seems to be entering here with the op as they push towards Pillar. That player of Verks in cams is going to play their life as the bomb goes down. Verks is aware of the flank man and will have help from Temple soon. Verks lives despite the gunfight from both fronts.
With the frag.
He's going to run past him through the smoke.
Oh! Verks is really digging in him right now.
Verks is just walling at this point as he gets 2 through the smoke, and the T's haven't even seen him yet. Calf still plays heaven. Swings out a nice timing. It's all on Freya with the op. 1v4 gets the first one, and this is not over yet. Unless Freya backs up for the save. Good round there from CT side. Nice job on Verks to stay alive towards cams and keep their life getting those 2 gunfights in the smoke. And I think that saves the round there for them after Nightmare goes down to the pick over the smoke.
What a retake.
I've noticed securing the A bomb site on this map can be particularly troublesome for the terrorist side. You have to obviously first get in the execute, and that involves taking care of the key places like, you know, behind the pillar, at the fountain area, the cake position, the center of the site, heaven, cams. And once you clear out those areas, now you have to hold it. And the counter-terrorists have some options to getting back in. And you can just see that it falls apart really quickly as they're trying to hold the site. But You got to give credit to Verks there. That was a great play on his part.
Great move from the IGL, and now we're going to see another slower default from the T side. We've been seeing these consistent conditioning smokes as well from the CT side with a smoke towards T stairs and rugs, but they haven't used it yet. We'll have to see if that shows up later in the half. Nightmare close A main, and the player rugs is not exactly watching this coverage, so if Nightmare decides to push it,
Missed shot.
missed shot, and Freya might be wanting that one back later in the round after that could have been a huge opening. Maxime tries to spray the A main with there, but we seem to be in a bit of a stalemate here as the CTs are grouping up towards mid. But the CTs do have kind of a very well, almost, I don't want to say lucky, but well-timed lead here as they have 3 players towards the mid and A site. Huge gunfight here, and Kai gets one on Calf, and that is going to expose the mid presence of the T's, which might make a rotate come on over if they're worried about it, but the T's are grouping up towards main. We'll see what they can do.
Looks like they're posturing for a B split here. This is tough with 2 on 4.
CT smokes come down, but Lissy says, I don't care. Pushes on through. Verks gets one. Can only get the one. Kai gets one. Trades come through, and Kai gets 2. Pushing into the site now in a 3v2. Low HP on Kai. That Eclipse nade is not going to do any damage. But the AWP can still have some impact. They're playing out of temple here. Their teammate is shooting. This is a really tough angle, and yet, in fact, it's taken down. Nightmare gets 2. But cannot get the 3rd. Nice swing and trade there from Warriors as they secured the 4-4 tie as we are 8 rounds in of a very close game.
Bible, I don't know if I like that retake, man. You take a look at the CT money after that one. They really needed to keep those guns up to be able to buy next. We're going to see some MP9s, some FAMASas. They managed an op on Eclipse. They're going to have to cobble this one together.
I'm curious about that op buy. Obviously, Eclipse is a smart weapon for him to use, but, you know, the buy looks, I mean, now it looks a little bit better with Verks and the M4, but, I mean, you got 2 FAMASas and 1 MP9. It's going to be, maybe this is the round you really want to call a timeout and figure out exactly what you're going to do. Where are you going to put these guns? Where should Eclipse go to make the most impact? But we'll assume for now they obviously have a plan. They've managed to get this far. It's 4-4. It's tied. It's looking good for them. And depending on your perspective, this might even be the harder round for the academics to deal with, the harder side, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine we're going to see some fast play from Eclipse here. They could leave him on a solo A hold. There's going to be something funky going on with these FAMASas for sure. I believe you called that one, Bible, with the CT timeout. They really got to think about this. So we'll see where they drop Eclipse with this op in the round.
And despite the CTs going down there, you talked about how that has a big impact on their economy. Freya does not get the op that was on Eclipse. And so we're going to have, obviously, a bit of an interesting buy on the T side as well, right? We have 3 AKs, but a MAC-10 and a Galil, which probably could have been an op and some AKs.
This is a wicked important round for the whole half here. I think the team that loses this one is going to be money fucked, really. Might see an eco next round if they lose.
B-push.
B-main push here, and we get a turn back from Warriors to check it, but they are solo and they might miss the timing. Great timing for the T side as they are going to manage to avoid that push, but the CTs are kind of aware where this is going to be as this util comes on in. We've got a player in Eclipse with the op heaven, smoked off, and Kef is playing towards cams. Free plant here.
Wow.
Verks gets one. Warriors trades on the op towards half wall, and now we have 4 players actually towards cams on the CT side. I'm really not liking this positioning. See what they can do.
They gotta wait out the smoke. It gets tough. Watch the time.
There is a molly on Freya, as well as some other util that can be used in holding the site. LW is going to peek heaven. Freya gets the one. Warriors holding these players back. The flash does come in, but the time is ticking as they only have 10 seconds left on the bomb. And it might be a time for a save here as they're over peeking still, and you can see that Calf is already thinking that Nightmare is going to follow.
It's a real shame. I liked what the academics were trying to do. The push out of B main with the 2 players was actually really smart, and then they put Eclipse with the op over at A, and I thought the setup was great, but the execution is where I think it fell apart. Eclipse didn't get an initial pick. They were trying to play a little bit more passive on A as they were figuring out what was going on. I understand the reasoning, but I think where they got caught off was with UPS's pacing. UPS was so quick at the aggression into A that they didn't have time to take advantage of the play.
Completely. And it almost seems to be great timing from Warriors right there. Warriors is holding the bomb, and if that goes down, it could really be a different round. Some more B pressure here. Obviously, Eclipse goes down to Kai and only on pistols. We'll see. We have 1 rifle, and actually FAMAS there from Cam that gets a trade back. And a push from Nightbear. It's now, and Verks gets one on the pistol. What is this round? It seemed to almost be given for the T's, but it's now a 2-2 with guns on Calf and Nightbear, and a flank coming in from B main from Kev. Nightbear's going to wait for their teammate. Warriors is going to flash, aware that this time it could be possible. Clears it. Big. 1v2, AK on Nightbear. Low HP, or I guess roughly half HP on both players, and a bit of time.
Yeah, Calf didn't see both players. He only saw one. So as far as Nightbear knows, there's only one guy out A main or B main here.
Gonna tap the bombs. See if they can hold for the swing to get one. Get the second.
Nice.
Nightbear converting on that round. Gonna have time as they have the kit, and that is gonna be a 5-5. Or do they have a kit? It looks like that's just a spectating glitch, and they barely have time. That's incredible. 5-5. Way to pull that back from Nightbear. We talk about a round that the CTs really shouldn't have been in, and some huge kills, obviously out of the rifles that were there, but also Verks on the USP.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredible. That was incredible. Bible, I'll let you finish. That was an incredible round. Really good value there off the USPs. And the rifles, the fact that they saved those over, I mean, really that won the round for them there, so that's huge.
And it seems like a bit of a miscalculation there from the T's. I don't know if they were trying to swing together main, but it seems like they almost handed that to Nightbear a little bit there with the double peek. And there wasn't that much time left on the clock. Presence from the T's towards main. They do have a buy, it's not great. And again, we see these smokes from the CT side to show some presence top mid and T stairs. I'm liking the aggression from the CT side, right? We've been seeing quite a bit of that.
Good stack here by ACA on the B side. They're correctly sniffing it out.
Yuto coming in again, a bit of a slower start to this round, but more leaning in the B direction as we see Warriors hits the bomb top mid, and we have 4 players heading towards the B site. Clips is now mid with the up. Seems like we have a boost on the B site, so 3 players still leaning over that direction. But the T's are going to give it a better look before they commit to their plan. And Warriors is working up door here pretty fast with the Mag 10. Might find Eclipse. We'll see who can take this one down. It should be Eclipse, but the jumping and all that from Warriors might set him off. Eclipse doesn't take the first shot. Very awkward from Eclipse, actually. The confidence doesn't seem to be there currently. Molly's come down, and that puts the T's in an awkward situation as they're now wrapping. Eclipse gets one. Frey gets one.
Oh my god, big entry on A.
But the T's managed to find their way A as they get a pick. And now Lissy and Maxim in a 2v2. As the CTs have grouped up for their retake 3 storage. Now Lissy's winning this fight. If we can get a trade from the CTs, this could come down. Lissy gets the first, doesn't look to the right. They're going to get traded by LW, but a great swing from Maxim to close that round for the T's. As we talked about, it's important that these teams are playing together and that they are aware of what each other are doing, and that's a way better way to play that than we previously saw from that clutch against Nightbear.
We know the buy is coming in now. It's the last round of the first half. So the academics are going to have to do something, spend as much money as they can, and UPS should know this. They should be very careful. I'm expecting them to actually play a bit of a safe setup right here and not get caught off.
backwards evox from the CT side as we have the A aggression. We talked about those smokes and the condition of these smokes, but now they're using it as they're pushing canals. They see the players mid, but Freya gets the pick on Nightmare. And now we have an awkward situation from the CTs where they have all this presence, but it's not going to help them.
Look at the
Freya
flank.
gets another one.
T-stairs.
T-stairs. Kev decides to pull the trigger early. Gets Lissy. That's going to draw the attention of Freya, and that's 3 for Freya so far in this round, doing everything. W takes down Kai, but Maxim trades it. And now it is a 3v1, all on Verx, with just a Deagle.
This would be cinema, a 1v3 here for Verx.
Let's see what Verx can do with just the Deagle towards Tarps, and hopefully Maxim clears this, but they don't. It doesn't matter. Freya with an insane 4K, pretty much willing their team to a 7-5 half. Incredible stuff from the Opera.
I think 7-5 is obviously it's a win for the terrorist side, but you know, it really isn't that bad. It's pretty even. It's very close. On the with the max rounds now of 12, it's really anybody's game right here. A lot comes down to the pistol round in the second half. I know we said it a lot, but it really does. When you think about it, if you get the pistol, if you get the conversion, if you get the bonus round, I know there's a lot of ifs in there, but all things considered, you really should be in a good position. The Masters should be able to reclaim the lead if they can just win the pistol round and play it smart from here out.
Yeah, it's definitely important to equalize that. I believe UPS took the first pistol. 2 pistols, I think I read somewhere that is what you win 65% of games that you win both the pistols. So, I mean, bodes well for UPS if they can pick both of them up here. So.
And we have an A look here for an A split as we have 2 players working up mid as the T's have flashed themselves into A main. A 4-stack on B from UPS, and it might be too late for them if they aren't going to shift this up. Molly comes in towards Temple as the A split looks like it should be activating soon. Nightmare LW heading on in as the cams push is coming in at the same time, and it's all going to be on Warriors to see what they can do. The IGL, what can they do? Gets one, but immediately traded, and now it's an awkward 4v4 as the CTs have to hurry their way over, and the clock is ticking. We do have a kit on Kai, but they are solo main. If this player goes down, there will be no kit for the CT side.
Doubled up A main for the T's.
Pushes out of cams and storage at the same time. Nightmare takes down the player with the kit. Maxim gets one. Eclipse trades. Lissy takes down Eclipse, and now it's a 2v2. No kit. Nightmare gets one on Lissy, and it's all up to Freya. Goes for the bomb stick, and Nightmare shuts it down. Great round from Nightmare, getting 3K. We talked about how difficult against these blocks, but they getting distance from all, and very impactful trades there from Eclipse as well in that round.
Yeah, Bible, you're right there, man. I mean, you take a look at this now, 7-6. That's a pistol round win for ACA here. They convert this anti-eco, and suddenly we're looking at a tie game. Really close. That's good stuff for ACA.
I'm hoping that if they just play it cautiously, don't do anything bad, it really hurts. And no matter what team you are, no matter where you're playing, you know how it goes, right? We've all been there. You win the pistol, you lose the next round. It's so painful. So really, academics just need to play it very smart here. Take advantage of the guns that they have. Take advantage of the situation they find themselves in. Win this round. It's very, very critical.
It seems like they obviously, we had a stack from the CT side there. What are your thoughts on that, Rich? Is it, you think, after you stack for a little bit, you don't see anything? Should you go for an info play main, or kind of how do you think the CT should have approached that round?
I mean, I think usually when you stack 4-1, right, like the idea basically is your solo player jiggles for intel and you're going to call for rotates. I mean, the thought really is if they didn't see anyone in the first, I'll say, 25 seconds of the round, it's pretty safe to rotate your guys back. That's obviously, we can see where we are too. But I'm a little surprised there were no intel plays that happened out B main there, at least with one of the guys.
And we have seen the CTs buy and 2 kills coming from Lissy, and this round is getting a little sloppy as Verx seems to go for a gun that's not even available, and Maxim gets 2. It's now all on LW. Gets 1 and gets the other.
Wow.
That is a huge hold from LW, but sloppy work from ACA as they were seemingly working together into the site. Lissy gets 2, and then they're not even aware of the potential fights from main.
Yeah, they should be the teammate should be thanking LW right there for winning that round for them. I mean, I would feel very Very sheepish if I was going for a gun and died that way. Not to harp on a mistake, but it's very dangerous at that point. Every mistake here in playoffs will be capitalized on, and you're going to feel bad for everyone that you do.
I mean, take a look at that too. That was a buy-in for UPS there. You talk about if they win the bonus, it seems like a surefire chance that their ACA takes this bonus round. I mean, these are USPs they're playing against.
Yeah, and they go for that buy right on that second round, and unfortunately it doesn't convert. So if I'm in the shoes of Bergs here, I would be feeling pretty confident that we're able to convert this round, and it's going to put us in a great spot economically, right? It's nice for these Ts to kind of build up if they can get some more Mag 10 kills, and the CTs are going to have to really show what they've got on the next round. So working up house here, we see another stack coming out towards the B site from UPS.
Same pistol. I wonder, I mean, if Verks did his job and he was bot reviewing as much as he said, I'm sure he's expecting this considering they're stacking towards mid here. Looks like there is a full B main push here from the CTs.
There is a B main push, and we'll see how quickly it comes in. It looks like CAF is aware, and here's some shots, and hopefully the Ts will pick up their pace. LW says, I'd rather fight, gets one, and that's all they're going to do. Not too greedy, as we have Warriors towards storage again. Spotted, and the bomb is going down. CTs might try to go for some exits here, as they only have USBs. As Freya probes towards main. Eclipse again, a little sloppy. But Nightmare gets one, Nightmare gets a second, and locks down the A main presence. Only one more player sticking around, which is Lizzie towards Cams on that Nico headshot spot. So the T's still have to be careful as they're exiting this bomb site. And exactly that, Verks does not clear it, and their teammate's low, and Lissy gets two. Nice round there from Lissy, despite being on USBs, manages to get 2 kills with the 5-7, getting themselves a gun for the next round.
It was very clean to execute. I liked the way that they took the site. That was fantastic. Maybe a little questionable on the exit strategy with losing 2 players that way, but you have to say, like, look, he got away with a Mac 10. So it's not like they gave him an AK or anything super important. You want to take that chance with the Mac 10s, get as much money as you can, and really damage the CT economy as much as you can. But Lissy's going to keep the Mac 10, and sometimes I wonder if that's really a detriment.
Hot buy on Freya. Looks like Lissy dropped Freya. So
Hop on Freya towards E-Box. Nobody's playing towards the T-stairs currently for ACA. As they're working towards A main, we'll see if a flash comes in or if they will just contact this Nightmare. Solo lurk B main and takes Kai down. And LW gets the kill on Lissy. T's are escalating, moving up fast. And it seems like they're not even ready for this presence as Warriors get surprised as the ACA team pushes in, falling back to storage once again. And they're going to be mollied off. This could be a very important play here from Nightmare if they manage to stay towards house and catch off these CTs rotating in. But they're going to push on up. 3v5, it might be advised for the CTs to save here. But it looks like they're going to give it a little look in, see if they can get some exits.
Maxim really needs to fight that urge to come around the corner and give it a look.
And they do exactly that, fighting the urge. They hear you there as they back on up.
Yeah, Warrior's showing some pretty good control over his teammates there. I mean, UPS they're a well-drilled team here. I would have been surprised to see Maxim swing that corner.
7-9. The team that has been leading this charge towards a title so far in the Challenger tier finds themselves down on map 1.
Bible, what do you need to see from UPS here to come back into this one?
Yeah, that's the big question. What are you doing wrong here? They have to figure out exactly where the holes are. It does seem like sometimes that the A-bomb set on this map is given up a little too easily, and I think part of that is because you don't always have the correct intel. You don't know they're coming A and you're not quite ready for it.
A B clash here fast though as the T's push on up. Nightmare gets 1. Nade comes down. Freya's low HP. Nightmare gets 2. Huge entries from Nightmare, and it looks like they're not done as they're playing towards Pizza. Nading the backside area and doesn't see anyone. 3v5 for the CTs. We've talked about what's gone wrong, and it seemed like everything for the CTs there as they got caught with nades in their hands. And Nightmare continues the reign of terror.
I mean, is this another save?
If I'm calling this, I think so, right? Your economy's not great. You have 3 players against 5 in a post-plant situation, and you know that you're facing full AKs op on Eclipse probably, and some Util. You've just got to call it and cut your losses, I think.
Verx is calling a great game right now. He's really digging into UPS here. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say here. Good individual play all around. Nightbear's owning, but I mean, really, they've called the right hit every time.
And Nightbear was a pickup mid-season, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they ACA ended up making a trade Nick for Nightbear middle of the season to Gas. Nick ended up helping Gas make plans, and that was beneficial. But I mean, Nightbear has been an incredible pickup for ACA here. Really turned them into a struggling middling team to, you know, they're one of the strongest teams in the tier at this point.
I think they're showing that. We have an op come out from Freya as the E-Box peak comes in. Shot misses and Nightbear is creeping up on Freya. Gotta be careful here as the Opera exposes themselves, but double nade on Eclipse by the looks of that. That might be, was that towards T stairs? It was. We have a double nade that comes down on the T stairs on the Opera, and Eclipse is probably feeling pretty upset about that as Maxim spams LW. 3v5 now for the CTs. A nice change of approach as they seem to be using Util to postpone any early aggression from the T's.
Smells like a little bit of an overheat. Looking like ACA wanted to get a little bit too much map control after those 5 rounds in a row and ended up biting him in the ass.
But we've talked about the A presence here so far, and while there is a player A, the T's are walking their way in, and they're going to prevent any peek there from storage. They're going to take the gunfight. Good trade from Verx on the player on Pillar, and now in a 2v5. Nightbear has had a very strong game so far, and it could be all up to Verx and Nightbear to clutch this 2v5 turned into a 2v4 as they're going to run back towards B, and the CTs seem to have caught wind.
Yeah, I don't think we have time. This is cooked.
I mean, easy as that, right? Maxim just gets 2 after getting their first initial one at the start of the round, and I'm not sure what the T's expected. They made a pretty loud announcement that they were not going to be going A there.
Maybe it's good for the academics right now to just answer right back real fast, real loud, go hit a site really quickly with the rifles. It's not typically expected to rush on a gun round, but it seems like their aggression pays off. They're actually really aware of how to dismantle the CT setup when they hit a site.
Lips Freya, huge duel here, could be important towards E-Box. Freya, I believe, takes a shot and is going to back on up. More aggression mid here as Verx works their way towards house. But B main aggression from the CTs. Push and pull across this map as the CTs are now pushing 2 out main. And it feels like the box is closing in on these Ts as they do not have a lot of control other than towards A and mid. You might think that maybe the CTs would rotate another player over. Looks like they're going to do that as Freya's going to come on over with the op as this exit comes on in. Will the op come in on time? Nightbear pushing through fast. Doesn't see the player close Tarbs, but now they do. Gets 1, gets 2!
Wow.
What a spray transfer there from Nightbear, and Freya misses a shot. And now in an awkward spot, and Verx takes them out. A 5v5 turns into a 2v5 just like that, folks. And again, do you have to call the save here?
I mean, it's got to be. I don't see any reason why you go for a 2v5 here. It seems like ACA is really caught on to this one man A site here, and they're going to keep abusing it until UPS changes stuff around.
I think Verx does a really nice job there of picking up the pacing when it's needed, right? They lose that main control, and despite, we can't know if he's aware of that timing, but seems to have kind of that second nature of we must go, and as they enter, Nightbear gets a very nice spray transfer there once again. 20 and 10 from Nightbear. What a pickup for this team.
It's unfortunate though, because it seemed like both teams, when they would push B main, they didn't see anybody, and then they wouldn't stack A site fast enough. And I think you had it right, Laws, that they really should have moved a player over, but I think they should have done it a lot more quickly. Once you see there's nobody out in the B main area, you hustle the troops, you get them over to the A bomb site. you start defending.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about the weakness on A, right? Would you like to see maybe more aggression from the A side of things from UPS, or maybe an A main push, something like that?
Definitely. We saw where Nightbear was actually pushing out that one round where he was on the CT side. He just came out A main, got a kill, came out there and actually saved the round for his team. So I think that's something that UPS could clearly do as well.
I know, Rich, you and I talked about the impact of the AWP against top teams, right? We've talked about how Freya and Eclipse have both been performing well for their teams, especially Freya. But again, we see that these AWPs are actually not the ones that are making the most impact in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fast rifle plays, that'll do that. I mean, really, you're seeing Eclipse and Freya turn into a little bit more supportive roles here on this map specifically, just due to the speed at which teams are taking sites and fighting.
Speaking of speed, we have a mid push, right? Eclipse gets one, and Lissy gets the trade. The T's have lost mid control. An AWP now in Kai hands. Nightbear, though, consistently getting those entries. Freya's on site, seeing what they can do, but the flash wears out as Nightbear sticks around, drawing a lot of attention to themselves. Where will the T's go from this as bomb is dropped towards spawn? And Nightbear's going to try to find more.
Wow,
Gets another. Nightbear
dude.
is ripping this team apart, knows there's one back site, and is not satisfied with the two so far. Freya on pillar, you are in a very awkward spot here, Freya. If this smoke begins to fade, I fear it might be over for them. And the smoke is fading, and Nightbear gets 3. Knows the last player's towards Temple. Wow. Lissy, it's all on you here to stop the team that you have previously lost to on Nuke, that you're about to head into Nuke against, from getting their map round, like the map winning round, right? They're almost at 12.
I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, Nightbear's putting on a show. There's some good calling from Verx. It's really a team effort here. Calf, good supporting util. Eclipse, good supporting off. But they're outplaying UPS here. Maxim's having a wonderful game. I don't want to take that away from him, but I mean, Nightbear with a 4K here, unbelievable.
24 and 11 finds an opening pick when it's needed after the aggression mid that seemed to have shut down any presence from the AWP, right? Eclipse got shut down early, and Nightbear doesn't care. Nightbear gets in there, gets 2 very important kills, and then manages to find the third back site, closing that round down for their team.
I liked his awareness. It wasn't just that he got the kills, it wasn't just the dueling, it was the weird smoke in the back of Plat. He's looking at that and thinking, you know, there's got to be a player there. There's got to be something going on. I know exactly where to go. And he could put himself in the position. I was almost surprised he didn't freestyle and go for the knife.
Very true. We have an AWP stalemate here in mid. I love to see these things right there. Holding different angles. Freya and Eclipse thinking, come on, just peek me. But little do they know, if one of them swings, it could be over. A nice boost towards B from the CT side. But we see, again, only one player towards A, playing pretty passive. And we'll see that it looks like a B split is at least being showed, right, from the AC team currently.
Maxim again,
man. Player having a great impact on the CT side for UPS gets one, and they get their number advantage, which feels like it has been long overdue. Bomb is heading B.
Nightbear saw that.
Nightbear sees the boost. And LW gets the kill out E-Box. Tieback site. Cap gets a trade. Maxim gets one, but a little push through here from Nightbear. Takes out Maxim. Takes out Freya. I mean, just not pushing in a 1v1 now. We have Eclipse and Lissy.
Lissy's got to jiggle this off.
Continue. Lissy has to win this 1v1. Eclipse has 28 seconds on the round, taps the bomb, but Lissy is not moving a muscle. Third time's the charm as the bomb goes down, and Lissy's now pushed through that timing, and Eclipse is potentially aware, misses the shot, and what a great clutch from Lissy there to secure the 9th round and let this Anubis map continue.
That's the round win that should not have been. I really thought the Masters were in control of that one. I thought the Academics had it. I thought they were going to win it right there and walk away with it. But no, UPS says no, we're not going to lose like this. We're going to get through, even if it's by the closest of margins, killing the AWP in the final 1v1. I'll tell you, if they do come back, that round is going to be the round that started it all.
It's a big 1v1 to win. I mean, look at the money here. That allowed them to get 2 extra rifles. They probably could have bought a 3rd rifle on Lizzie there to drop to either Kai or Warriors. I mean, this is a completely different round.
This is where we see, though, that economy is going to be very tough for the CTs, right? But beneficial for the Ts, as they've got full AKs and an AWP, and they're going to work their way up through mid-door. Verx again finds himself finding the space as the IGL leads as the head of this spear. More of an A-lean here. Bomb is towards B main, but the Ts look like they're taking their time. And another stalemate here as we have Eclipse
Should be
about
easy
to
for
peek
Freya.
into Freya, but Freya's going to move off the angle. This is awkward. Eclipse looks like they're about to peek, and they don't, and now Freya's looking towards house. I mean, there it is. Unfortunate timing after holding that the entire round. Freya goes down to Eclipse, and that's a huge pick as Verx pushes in, gets the kill, immediately traded by Warriors, but now they know there's probably only one on the A site. LW showing presence, and that's going to draw Kai on over, and we see that Maxim is now falling to a more passive position on B. It really just seems like the T side need to pick their poison, or you know, not pick their poison, but choose what they're gonna deliver the final blow with. What look they think will be the most confident, as Verx is gathering his troops towards the B site. 3 coming up B box. CT angle catches them off guard. Maxim gets 1. Maxim does a ton more damage, but unfortunately falls to Nightbear, and it's all on Kai and Warriors now to clutch this 2v3. Huge nade. 2v2, 16 seconds on the clock. They're gonna have to get this bomb down. And a push from E-Box takes the bomb down. 10 seconds, 1v2 for LW. Warriors is alone, tucking. No time for LW, and Warriors just has to live.
Wow.
Wow. What an incredible recovery from the CT side as they realize time is low and we get the bomb down with no time for LW to secure the round.
They got the op there at the end. Did you see
12. The Eclipse up. We'll probably see it, right?
Yeah, UPS picked up theirs as well. I mean, enabling Freya to have another chance at the round here. I think Warriors can drop one to Kai. Lizzie can buy himself. They got a full buy here.
And I can't help but feel, if I'm Nightbear, I'm thinking, let's just get somebody else a couple more kills and we can push this over the line, right? 27 and 13. It would be really important for them just to have a little bit more help as a timeout comes. Is that timeout? Yep, timeout comes on in.
I mean, the stakes are really high right here. Counter-terrorist team obviously has to hold on. They just need 2 more rounds to get into overtime. There's no chance for them to win in regulation because 12 is the max. And, you know, academics are in that position where you know you're on match point, you can win it, but now you're struggling to close it out as momentum is shifting to the other side. You've got to find a way to get control right now.
And this is where I think your ideas as an IGL get tested, right? Ooh, shots traded towards E-Box, but the pick does not come in for Eclipse. But Verx must be thinking to himself, how do I make this work? Where's the hole? Where's the gap for me to exploit? How can we close this game out?
Yeah, you get into these late game scenarios as an IGL, Laws, and I'm sure you know yourself, right? You got to pull out deep into the strat book here, and we're going to see some mid control here from ACA with the hopes of kind of spearheading likely over into the A site.
Yeah, and we noticed obviously that they're leaving bomb towards kind of B main and T stairs area, right? It seems that they like to make sure they're not losing bomb. But I'd be surprised to see if this often will, you know, reduce their timings, or, you know, miss some timings or reduce the amount of time they have at the end of the round, right? We saw them lose the round to time at the end there. Eventually, they're going to have to go back for this bomb, and the clock is still ticking. But Nightbear is consistent. Finds another kill. Maxim tries to trade. Nightbear somehow lives. And showing more presence B than anyone could dream of as Nightbear gets the kill and still maintains the control of the 2
He's
players.
keeping the rotates there. Look at that.
Now we have this, what looks to be an A split. 28 seconds left. It's going to come down as this smoke drops. Freya with a great smoke to postpone the T push, and they're still quite split. 20 seconds left. What are the T's going to do? We know it's going to be A, but it's very important they get this bomb down. Freya misses a shot after getting one on Verx. Calf gets the kill on Warriors, and the bomb goes down. Calf low HP. Freya tries to execute the swing, and Nightbear gets the trade, and it's all on Lissy now to save this map in a 1v4. I hate to say it, but it doesn't feel likely. Gets the first, which is great, but there are still many players alive, especially the AWP on Freya, but too many nades out could be the demise, and that's exactly it. They get the kill on Eclipse. unfortunately, LW gets the trade, and that is going to be a 13-10 win for ACA.
Got their
That was a
map pick, got the
wild
job
game.
done, man.
That was incredibly wild. Nightbear, 29 kills. He really pulled his weight there. And that of some members of his team too. It was sometimes it was pretty good. Him alone doing what he needed to do. Obviously it's a team game, but sometimes some members step up when they're needed. And Nightbear did it for his team, dragged them over the finish line 13-10. That was really good Counter-Strike. I am actually looking forward to what they're going to bring on map number 2.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, right, that they finished with an A exec there, which we've talked about how they were struggling on A a little bit, and Verx finds that weakness, closes it out, and they're heading into a second map where, Rich, how do you feel if you're this team heading into the second map on Nuke against UPS?
I mean, if I'm UPS here, I go, this is my home map. Let's show them what we're made of. We're 3-1, I believe, over the course of the season. Let's do our jobs. If I'm ACA, I'm up a map on UPS. I'm pretty confident. I got Nightbear frying, and we beat UPS on their own map. Match day 9. That wasn't too long ago. To me, I'm pretty confident if I'm ACA. But if I know one thing about this UPS team, it's don't count them out, because it's going to be close. So I expect this one to go the distance. Probably a full 24. I wouldn't be surprised to see an overtime here.
Bible, we've talked about some of the storylines so far as to when these teams last met. Warriors was not there on Nuke, right? They played Nuke and Warriors for UPS. The IGO was not there. How do you think they must approach this map now? As you see your team lose and you weren't there as the IGO. Are you feeling pretty good because obviously your team wasn't running the system that you have been typically playing, and you've now got tons of demo to watch on the other team that you're now playing on Nuke.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're going to be coming in here much more confident if they can get past the loss that they just had now. I think they should be very confident on Nuke. Obviously, like you mentioned, the in-game leader is a huge factor. It really is. When you're playing with a set strategy and somebody who can really set the tone for the team, um, if you're missing that, you kind of go back maybe a little bit to more of a pug strategy if you have to, if you don't really have the same mentality. The other thing to note on match day number 9, Maxime actually dropped 30 kills on that game, 122 ADR.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get a good performance out of him and you've got the in-game calling, I really think that UPS has a very, very good chance of walking away with their own map. And on a somewhat related note, what we noticed about UPS stats-wise, we were talking before the game, the round differential that they have going into the playoffs was 33, which means that they won 33 more rounds than they lost. And so I guess that the takeaway is when they win big, and when they lose, it's much closer of a game than other teams would expect. So, and that's what we saw here, right? They lost, but they lost by only 3 rounds. So they're either going to run away with it or it's going to be another slugfest. And I know that that's exactly what academics is want. They want another slugfest, back and forth. If they can't run away with it, they want to drag them down to a hard-fought game.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what we saw in this previous matchup between ACA and UPS. Verx dragged him down, made him play the slugfest. This time around, they got, like we said, they got Warriors back. Got to expect some of the macro to be much better from UPS this time around. But what we see is, Maxim's coming off of an absolute banger of a previous game. They got Nightbear off a banger. I'd love to see Freya pop off. This is by far her best map in the pool right now. So, if there's any key to get back into it, it's go aggressive, go early, and hope they get a hot start for UPS here to keep them in this series.
Yeah, and I think Nuke's a map that can really expose a team, right? We have a lot of these maps that are more individual based, right? We talk about the Dust, Mirage, Inferno, kind of even at times ancient, right? You have certain maps where it really feels like it's just a neighbor's paradise, but Nuke is a very complex map, and I think that it could be huge for this team if they can review the demo of when their IGL wasn't there, keep Maxim shooting hot, and get Freya's up popping. That they could really have a dominant win here.
Yeah, and I think for ACA, right? I mean, what do they got to look for in terms of securing the win here? Obviously, Nightbear continuing to do some good mid rounding as well as fragging out like he did. I'm gonna put some pressure here on LW and Eclipse. I think this team, frankly, like this big performance from Nightbear, I'm not going to say is unsustainable, but I wouldn't expect to see a near 30 kill performance from him 2 games in a row here. We're going to need to see some more from Eclipse and LW to kind of keep ACA in this versus what is easily UPS's best map. Versus Collinwell, Calf is doing some good support plays, and it's not his role to pick up all those frags. But I got to see LW, I got to see Eclipse. Those guys got to pop off this game to keep it competitive. So.
Yeah, and it seems like obviously, despite the loss, that Maxim was very warm. Every time that those T's came into the B site, they were winning their gunfights and looking pretty good, right? So if they play in a position where they're going to have a lot of gunfights and can have some high impact, I think we'll definitely see a bit more of an effort from the UPS side.
I mean, totally. Like having your star rifler Maxim hot in your first match, even a loss, I mean, bodes well for your next maps just because, it's really rare when you're frying in your first to kind of drop the ball in the second and the third. It looks good for them. They need their other stars to pick it up. But I saw a little bit more light from them at the end of Anubis there. So this is going to be a good one, Laws.
Very much so. All right. We are heading into Nuke. Here we see we're starting off with UPS on the CT side, and typically, obviously, it's been a very CT-sided map, but with CS2, it has kind of evened out a little bit, as ACA are hoping to take their Glocks and run it down here on their T side. But they're going to take a slower approach. Looks like they're setting up for an exec, that we've got a hut molly lined up. Not sure if they need to break the glass for those, but we'll see if this exec comes out smoothly. As a fast exec's coming through, and the molly lands. Maxim gets one though. Freya back site. There's 3 here, 4 on the A site so far, and the T's are taking their time getting in as Freya easily taps one. No trade comes in. Eclipse gets the kill on Freya. Eclipse gets 2, and it's now looking a little more likely as the Gush comes in. But Lizzie slows it down. Eclipse with another huge kill, and Eclipse just, after chilling and having a kind of a very average game, I would say, on the AWP on Anubis, just gets a nice, easy 4K on the Glock and confirms the first round in the favor of ACA.
ACA needed that one. Eclipse starting off hot. That bodes well. Might be an early op soon. For UPS, though, I mean, it was looking real good early. Early pick from Maxim. Frey gets an early one. It was a 3v5 by ACA there to take that pistol.
Yeah, unless he does well to, get the frag as they're getting ran down, but it just seems like Eclipse took the game and the round, I guess, into their hand. And now we have a slower approach from the T side again, but it looks like they're lining up a similar look. Some outside smokes to maybe mask the cross, but only pistols, 1 shotgun, and some MP9s on the CT side. Something I don't really like here, Rich, is that the presence in lobby can be very scary on the second round as a team. Nice kill there from LW, but if that goes the other direction, right, you're kind of trapped in and kind of just waiting for a lobby crunch. So I like this presence from Eclipse and Vergs, trying to see if there's some space outside.
Yeah, it's a real fortunate pick they got on Freya there. That's a good pick from Eclipse.
And Nightbear gets the kill on this scene. That's going to open up the A site, but high flanking lobby, and Warriors is a MP9. Seems like they brought it to something calm, but they now know where this last player is, and Warriors is making a sloppy gunfight look even worse as the player tucks and lives. 11 HP. We'll see if Warriors can make something happen, but no offense to them, and I'm not saying they should make this work. It looks like it should be an ACA round.
Feels like a pretty safe bet. Warriors is getting out of here and saving, and looks like that's what he's going to do.
11 HP, you're going to have to run pretty far back into spawn as this map, obviously, we're going to see it throughout this map, has some quite insane bomb radius situations.
Does he live there?
I don't actually know. This will be a fun test, as we've just talked about it.
Yeah,
they do. And all the T's live as well, as we're going to have just an MP9 going into this third round for UPS. Obviously, they bought again on the CT side.
It is a little bit questionable. I know what they're trying to do. They buy the second round, the counter-terrorist buy on the second round, even though they lost the first one. You know, I understand it. I get what they're trying to do, but unless the terrorists are coming into lobby, pushing into A, getting in through the choke points, those range weapons are probably not going to cut it if the terrorists go outside or play very carefully. And it just kind of hurts your economy a little bit if you fail. But I understand it and I respect the attempt. I like what they tried.
And Calf getting a weird shot on Leslie through the vent there. CT showed some early outside aggression, but the trade comes on in. And now Nightmare finds himself down the vent. The CTs are going to hear that, and it's getting a little crazy as we have some B presence through double door. Bomb is going to try to get planted. Kai tries to shut it down, but Nightmare again is having impact when it matters. Will they be ready for this player? J-Haulers are getting flanked from lobby. And Maxim gets the kill. Trade comes in on LW, and now it's all on Calf and Nightmare in a 2v2.
Ramp.
Nightmare gets killed, and now it is a 1v1. Might just be a save, though, from Freya, as they have an AK and not much HP, no kit. Sloppy conversion, I would say, right? If they are fighting against the USPs there, I think UPS does a nice job of trying to at least take some guns away, and they get more than I think they even originally thought they would.
I agree. I think that at some point, and I don't know exactly when, but it seemed like the academics just lost the plot as to where everybody was. They got ahead of themselves, got the bomb plant on the site, which is fine, but the support team that needed to get down there to help is the one that got trapped. They got, you know, trapped from behind, trapped from in front, and they didn't know where to swing or what they were doing, and they got cut off pretty badly. Obviously, it didn't matter, you know, the round is won, but it's still, even on the T side with the good economy, you want to lose as few people as possible. And if that were a rifle round, you know, they might have lost it.
It was sloppy, right? Yeah, it was a sloppy round. We have double up coming out here. Freya's posted up on ramp. You see Eclipse has the up, posted up top silo. Molly's going to drop that player as Maxim falls off, and Nightmare's going to hear that. But two players now working up ramp. Kai pushing up with the support of the Opera, and they're going to try to peek lobby. It looks like a nice bait and switch here, but I'm not sure if the Opera's going to feel too comfortable sitting in that corner behind the smoke. That's some... Yeah, exactly. Freya's going to fall back off of that. Some outside presence, though, from LW. See if they can find anything. As it looks like it might be an A split, but Lissy gets one on A site. Lissy, or no, was that Mini? I guess that might have been Mini, and gets one outside as well. And now it's a 3v5 for the T's as they're going to work towards ramp, and we'll see if they're ready for this op on Freya. They might be walking into some big danger here. Exactly, that Freya gets one, and now it's looking very awkward. 30 seconds left on the clock. You got two players alive, and you have not much info or damage, as you know where the players were, but time has passed since those kills came in, and it looks like they're just going to group up for some kind of hit towards Squeaky. Door opens, and Warries shuts it down. Nice double headshot there from Warries, and that was a very convincing round. Now that we're on full gun rounds, it looks like UPS have found their footing.
Bible, you made a great point about the sloppy round there from the ACA. And what it ended up doing is it really cost them to buy this round. A win off of UPS here sent them straight into an eco. They got a save to be able to buy next.
You know, the real benefit, though, from UPS of winning that round the way they did is that they have full people alive, full team, full economy going now. This is their chance to run away with that. And that's what we see now. Warriors getting the first kill, Nightmare trading.
Spamming smokes. I mean, this is good for the TC. Wow, big picks. Bomb plant down is huge for ACA here. UPS is laid out smokes. Eclipse, Calf, SMG, rifle. Let's see if they can hold it from this double main push. Big pick from Lizzie. Calf slow lurking towards Squeaky. He needs to play slow here.
He saw Freya.
They don't know about him. They don't know him. They don't know. Oh, she needs to check time. Wow. That was actually crazy. I'm a little surprised. I would have expected that they turned around with that timing there if there wasn't an immediate peek out of a hut there. And with that, we talk. We're like, oh, that's a eco there. ACA turns around and absolutely stuffs them on their eco.
Yeah, sometimes it's more dangerous. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that where you get the eco round and you actually perform better than you did with your rifle round.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's a natural pace change with the eco. You just got to go faster. You got to tech 9 or something. And maybe that was the issue. Maybe you just needed to go faster in the moment. Or maybe the CTs get a little complacent, like, oh, well, we beat you on the rifle round. This should be an easy mop up. And they're not really focused. All sorts of dynamics can play into the outcome of that round.
It's going to keep you on your toes, right? If you're feeling very confident going into a round, you know that you finally got yourself into this game and it immediately just gets pushed right back in your face. As we enter another full gun round, we'll see who's going to take command of these rounds. As the UPS round was convincing, and then they obviously had a bit of a struggle on the previous. Kai here in a great spot. Gets one, but doesn't get another and doesn't drop. That's kind of rough for the ramp players. They only get one and don't live. Works with a nice trade, and that's going to take them down to the B site as we have her rotate in through vent already. On Freya with the up. The doors are going to open, but Freya doesn't see anybody. LW trying to hold up this flank. It seems like the T's are quite disjointed, but Eclipse gets one on Freya. LW gets the kill. Nice trade from Lissy. Now in a 2v3. Push here. Lissy gets the kill. Now it's 2-2. Swings, knows there's one clock. There's another player towards Astralis whose Verx is going to take out Maxim. And a nice shot from Eclipse. It got a little dicey, but some very nice kills there from Verx and Eclipse to hold the B site.
This is actually looking very concerning. I wouldn't say terrifying just yet, but it's a little concerning. We do see comebacks in the halves all the time, just the way the economy plays out and different things going wrong. Once you get used to how your opponent starts playing their half, you can bring it back. But if this round, or rather, let's say if this half gets away and Masters gets a much, much bigger lead, it's going to be really difficult to pull yourself out of this hole, and you don't have the map to do it. So right now, UPS has to start digging deep and finding out what they've got.
And I would feel great if I am in Verx's position right now. We've been approaching this game very well. And even if we only get, one more round or 2 more rounds on the T side, I'm feeling very confident. And hopefully, if I was in Verx's shoes, we could get a couple more than that. As we see a group up on B here, or on A, sorry, as Freya is actually in hut. See if they can catch Nightmare in the car, but
wow, big.
They do exactly that. Backing away, doesn't get too greedy and try to grab the AK, which means Calf cannot trade, and there's a player now pushing in, and Maxim gets the kill. A round where we think again this should be a rifle round that takes takes the win, but it looks as if the ecos are being stronger than the other teams are predicting.
That heaven spot, I mean, basically confirms the lower play here.
And then Freya picks up the AK, taking out Eclipse, who seems a little lost as to where the CTs could be. And this round is falling apart. LW goes down to Freya. Freya's now got it up, and now it's a 1v5. And Verx is probably thinking, how did this go so wrong? Shut down at every look.
Yeah, I don't want to, get too far into the minds of the players here, but I would have to say this round looked very disjointed coming from the academics. It did not look like they were peaking together. It looked more like they were just kind of holding, and then when they didn't see any presence, they were kind of moving around and just wandering a little bit to see if they could find an opening. I think they play best when they're trying to work together and trying to take something a little bit more with purpose, like we saw in the last map. They were playing much more coordinated on their T side than this last round.
Very much so, as it looks as if they're now grouping up in exactly the format you're talking about. Something a bit more, team-based as they're working towards A here. Maxim might find an unfortunate timing, but gets his way into heaven as these players push on out. Leslie gets one, Maxim gets another. Maxim does tons of damage to this player, and that nade might do it. Kobe from Maxim, and Warriors cleans up the other. Nice round there from Maxim, getting 3, and combined with Lissy's 1 and Warriors 1, they shut down any chance of another push into their site with an eco. We've had a couple of those so far, boys.
Yeah, you talk about the sloppy rounds. It's really from both sides on these ecos. It's really overconfidence when you watch. It's not necessarily, and not to dispute your point right there, Bible, not necessarily, I wouldn't say playing together more. They think they're unbeatable with these rifles. And really, everybody here is individually really strong. And you saw that with Freya and Maxim and Lissy taking these pistol fights and winning the rounds. And they're up pretty good now.
Now we're going to find ourselves with another kind of, around 2K buy from the T side. As if the CTs can convert this, it will now be a game that is much closer than we initially thought it would be.
Ooh, didn't roll.
Let's see sloppy, but
Wow.
Warriors helps, it converts.
What a save.
And the team is starting to play better as UPS has struggled to play together consistently on Anubis. Now look very in tune. Eclipse with 3 HP. Can he do it with just a Glock and a 1v5? I would like to say no, but gets one on Warriors. And if I'm Warriors, I am feeling quite upset about that as nobody else is there to trade it. But Kai gets the kill, and some nice kills are from Lissy to convert the round. This will be a big one.
Yeah, low money here for ACA. Good enough to get a full buy-in, but they lose this round. I don't know, Bible. I trying to do the math in my head right now. Does it feel like they're gonna eco next, and that looks like a 7-5 half for UPS, or at least close enough, or do you think they got a buy after?
I'm not entirely sure. I think you're going to. I mean, I'm glad they're calling the timeout. Let's consider that. I think that you're going to end up seeing UPS take this round, and then you're probably going to see some sort of, at the very least, some sort of half buy next round from the Masters if they lose this one.
Mm-hmm.
This, we were just talking about how the economy influences things, and you can come back in the second half. This is exactly what we needed to see from UPS. They're following the exact thing they need to do. I'm actually predicting right now, probably expecting a 6-6 final score for the first half.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering, let's say ACA takes this round here. I mean, UPS has a big bank built up right now. They can easily buy next round with ops, so it's not going to kill them. ACA definitely needs this round.
We talked about the impact of certain players. Nightbear starting out this map 4-9 after an exceptional T side on Anubis.
Yeah, transversely, right? Like Lissy's destroying. I mean, he's doing real well outside right now. I believe he's postured towards what is that, Mustang right now.
Yep.
So it's a big spot for him.
Great pick from Freya as they blow the smoke. Kai's gonna drop the smoke towards ramp, but now the T's are feeling a little confused as to where they should be heading. Hopefully Verx will pick that up in the comms and have a great idea for them.
Looks like they didn't have an HE for Squeaky Door right there. I mean, that's actually huge because they essentially have full outside control and they know the hits come through hut. So let's see.
Reactionary Molly. It seems like the T's are aware that they might draw some util, so wait for them to take their time. But it looks like Nightbear is just waiting for the go. Lissy's going to be in a great position. The op is on Freya. This could be very, very bad for the T's if they decide to push in. It doesn't even matter. Freya gets one before they can even get out of hut. And now they're pushing to a site where there are 3 players, and even Warriors coming on over now. 4 players, still 3, could be 4, ready for this.
Cooked.
Another kill from Freya. Lissy's going to be there. It doesn't matter. Freya gets a great shot, and now it's all on Eclipse. Freya has an idea. Maxim shuts it down. Very convincing round. Insane 4K from Freya. And we've talked about how important that impact is going to be from the Opera.
Yeah, good point there. I mean, when you look at like star rifling and opping that this UPS team has, this is exactly what they need to see. That's the whole reason why you start CT side in this map. They got to get their guys rolling for T side because it's going to get tough. Warriors has so far called a really good comeback into this half, and looks like they have a pretty good chance of pulling out their 6th here.
And if I'm Frey, I'm feeling great, right? Not only are we hitting the shots that we should be hitting, but hitting nice flicks like that on the player coming out hut, you're feeling confident. You can see that in the posturing here as Frey is now holding ramp. They're going to try and test her, but they are doubled up with Kai.
No
Freya's
flashes
holding
on the
the
board. They're going to have to literally run straight into this. Probably Calf is going to jump to grab the crosshair.
Yeah, we'll see if we get the jump. We do. It doesn't move, but Frey doesn't take a shot. They're going to push through. They're going to overwhelm the Opera. Kai gets taken down. Verks gets 2 as they take down the Opera, and that is sloppy from UPS as the T's are now pushing down ramp. Low HP on 3 players, but it is a 4v3. Let's see, though, shutting down Verks. So the T's seem to have paused in a very awkward spot. Now we have 3 players very low on HP. Pausing towards the ramp here. As Maurice and Maxim are both ready for this. And Lissy is holding the J-Hall. There is an option for them to go back towards lobby, but Lissy doesn't give them the chance as they try to push J-Hall, taking down Nightbear. Now it's 2 players left with a combined 37 HP. Lissy goes down though to LW, and they're running it back towards site.
With the get back.
Where they get back, but the bomb is actually on Eclipse.
It's a fake.
Huge kill from LW, opening up the round. Now it's all on Maxim. Yeah. 1v2 though, 2 low HP players.
Wow.
Great round from Lissy, pulling it back. What looked like a very lost round with low HP, and what looked like a round that shouldn't have been theirs to begin with. We get the entries from Verks and Lissy. You know, unfortunately, after holding J-Hall, may have overpeaked a little bit there, opening up the round as LW gets an incredible 3K.
I think sometimes we get a little bit distracted. You know, we obviously like watching pro matches and the best of the best Counter-Strike players, and we seem to forget that people at this level are actually good players. And, you know, compared to the average player, we are seeing some of the really nice plays and nice players, and it's very dangerous. You make a mistake, even at this level, and you're going to be punished for it. And both teams are finding that out as they're, unfortunately, just not perfect today. And who really is?
Yeah, I mean, that Lissy J-Hall peak, not to single him out, that was a round losing peak there. And Nightbear with the big pick on Kai for the B anchor. He's going to find no one here.
Nightbear's been doing this on Anubis, right? Getting that opening pick, taking lots of space, and Calf gets the kill on Maxim on site. Ooh, a whiff shot from Lissy, and LW gets the shot blind. And you're going to be wanting that one back after these T's are now in a 5v2. It's all on the Opera. Warriors gets a kill on Eclipse. Trying to bring it back, and
Nightbear coming up heaven.
But Nightbear Heaven, 2 players here from the CT side are down. We have Freya towards the vents, and Warriors is working up secret. I think they're aware of the presence from Freya, but this flank from Warriors could be huge on a timing as the bomb goes down back site. Can Warriors find a kill here to open the round? They have to go for this. Double smoke from Mini just to be sure. And now Freya is stuck. 8 comes in to blow it. Can they see anything? This is getting awkward. There's 22 seconds left on the bomb. They really have to start getting a move on. 2 players double up on the Asian vent. And we'll see Verks gets Freya. All on Warriors now in a 1v4 to make it an even half. But it looks like it's going in the favor of ACA as they take it down 7-5 on the T side.
What a recovery there on the eco for ACA. I mean, it really secured the half for him. Slight misplay from UPS cost them the lead, or at least the tie. Way to capitalize, and a couple individual plays there really saved them. Notice the KD here, right? A lot of negative over here on ACA. Still, they have the round differential on UPS here. UPS has got to lock in and get this pistol round to keep themselves in this match and the series.
I think something that's important for ACA here as well is to keep in mind that despite being up quite heavily to begin with, that if we told them, hey, you'll be up 7-5 on the half heading into your CT side, I think they would take that.
Yeah.
I think it only feels worse because you were up by so much in the beginning that you feel like you let it slip away when you lose so many rounds at the end of the half, whereas the math works out just the same. 7-5 is still 7-5.
Very much so, as we have a lineup here from UPS, which should be the Hut Molly. Looks like they're doing something similar to what ACA did on the pistol round, but they're actually grouping towards ramp. It's an A fake.
Look at the read.
2 doubled up ramp here. Eclipse gets Warriors with the dualies, but the T's look like they're still trying to take the gunfights. They're coming back towards lobby, taking gunfights. Lissy gets a nice kill on Calf, and it looks like it's trades in favor of the CTs. They know that there's dualies towards ramp still on Eclipse. Will they try to group and hit here? Lissy and Maxim in a 2v3, a very important round for them on this T side. And it looks like they're going to work back towards lobby. We have a nice boost here, or not boost, but, you know, double up, sorry, on the A site. LW is hearing all of this as the mini smoke comes down, and hopefully they'll have some support from Eclipse in heaven. LW getting inquisitive, pushing
Big
towards
fight.
Squeaky, and gets themselves into a nice corner. This could be tough for the T's to clear as they're fighting the heaven. And Maxim's going to clear their corners, but it's all down to this timing. Maxim shoots the heaven player. Will they clear the vent? No, LW gets one. Knows they're in the smoke. He's going to spam the smoke, and he gets him. Huge round from LW there, converting the pistol after a very nice shot from the T's towards heaven. Maxim tries their best, but is not enough. 8-5 now for the CT side.
I can't help but feel that if UPS had actually pushed out ramp about maybe 3 seconds earlier, ideally 5 seconds earlier than they did, they would not have been stopped by that Molotov. They may have caught out the player that was mid-rotate going to the heaven position from ramp. But I think that the fake was good, but they just didn't take the execution time in the tightest window that they needed to.
Yeah, and they really overcooked. I'm not going to say overcooked. They really took a little bit too long to get into the round there. You saw, I mean, if they just immediately pivot back to A, all they have is heaven presence they got to fight. In the same way, if they waited a little bit longer, they could have maybe gone back ramp. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, but a game of timings for sure.
Some nice setups here from the CTs as they seem to have 3 ready for the A-pop. Verks could get a couple here with the MP9 if the T's choose to go. Falls off the angle. Gets one as Eclipse gets one as well. Does some more damage. Hut player, though, gets taken out by Cav. Great coverage from the CT side as it's all on Maxim in a 1v5, and all they have is a Glock. Push from Nightmare converts the round. All 5 live for the CT side, and you're feeling great if you're Verks, right? You're now 9-5 up against this 1-seed team, and you already have a map in your pocket. You're feeling great now that you have got that round.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of the anti-stratting versus kind of like watch. He's clearly seen the film that these guys have played. He knows what to do against this team. These are good calls by Verks. From the UPS side, this is a must-win round right here, fellas.
We have a rifle round here with some MP9 still on the CT side, right? So it feels like a great opportunity for the T's to get themselves back into this game as they work towards outside with some smokes, but there's heavy pressure. 2 outside for the ACA Masters. And a player towards A site as well. LW playing behind the smoke. Covering Eclipse. LW does great, but the trades come in favor of the T's. Now they're working their way down secret, and it's going to be up to number 3 here. Nightbear is going to be top ramp. See what they can do as they drop towards mid-site, and they're going to get down while it matters. Verks gets a weird kill on Chally there. It seems like Chally should have won that gunfight, and now Nightbear shuts down the push from Maxim. 2-2. T's decide what they're going to do. Looks like we have a little presence from Lissy towards the vent to see if there's the insta-push. But actually there's 3 players alive, excuse me, as Verks is low in HP. And if the trades go in the favor of the ACA team, they're going to feel very confident. But a great kill there from Lissy on Nightbear's. Warrior pushes on out. Warriors takes down Verks, and it's all on Calf in a 1v2. Low HP on Lissy, and AK on Warriors. This would be great from Calf. On the bonus, this would be a huge round for them to win, as the smoke in Decon single door is going to slow them down.
They got to play together here. Calf, he did it before, right? There you go.
Calf does it before, but Lissy does it now as Lissy takes down Calf. Really nice work there from Warriors and Lissy to isolate the duels and play off of each other. 9-6. A very good round as now the CT side has to decide what they're going to do. They do have money for a buy, but how are they going to approach this round? What do you think, Bible?
I'm not sure. It's going to be a little bit of an ugly buy. You're going to see the 1 MP9 on Nightbear, Verks on the FAMAS. I mean, we saw them. This kind of thing can work. We saw it on the previous map. They could do something, but you're probably going to see them stack something with closer angles, not play outside.
And now they only have 1 MP9, obviously, on the CT side on Nightbear, and we've talked about where Nightbear's been playing on that ramp side tucked behind the orange box at the back, with some other good rifles spread across. So we'll see. Verks looks like they want to get aggressive in Hut here. Warriors is going to drop a flash that would not blind Verks, but thinks better of it.
Yeah, if you're UPS here, I mean, I gotta imagine you're probably thinking you can maybe get out outside, but it feels like B hit here.
Nightmare's on an off angle and tries to get the kill on Chally. The scout shot from Frey is a little labored, but we get a kill from Warriors on the AK. Are they going to be aware of the other player? Eclipse gets one, but just right in the grill. Freya just destroys Eclipse, and that's got to hurt. Verks on the flank looked like it should have been a headshot, but it doesn't convert, and now Verks wins that gunfight. Can ACA work themselves into this round? LW is still here towards Decon. Has a very good timing if the smoke fades. We'll see if Lissy's aware of this timing.
He's got to turn right when the smoke comes down.
Now Verks is waiting on ramp. Has util to help flash as the door should probably open at the same time. It comes in, LW gets the kill. But the clear of Dark and Clock is going to be tough here. They do see the kill, and now it's all on Chally, who's Clock. It's a great position, but it doesn't matter as the CTs destroy UPS on that retake. Can the defuse come in on time? It's going to be a close one. And they get it. 10-6. What a great retake there from LW and Verks as they're working together on that util.
Is that a statement round, Bible?
I think it was. That was a fantastic retake. The coordination that came in there was second to none that we've seen tonight. The flash, the waiting out of the smoke, the pushing through the doors, the teamwork was spot on. Yes, you know, it was LW doing a great job there, but he needed the support of his teammate. They came together beautifully. That's the kind of thing you need to win this, and to finish it, take the map away from them. Just run away with it here.
Seems like we have a lobby presence here from the T side, as they have only Mac 10s and Tech 9s. It seems to be their team play has been a little bit off, as they were very unaware of the presence at Decon. And we'll see if they can correct that before it's too late. 10-6 now. If they don't win this round, it'll be 11-6, and they only have 2 rounds to play with before going down. Warriors is close. They're waiting for a flash. Verks is propped up. Finds the shoulder, gets one, and Calf actually covers on Verks while Chally gets the kill. Or Kai gets the kill, I'm sorry. And Calf does a nice job of trading out and helping their teammate there. 2v4. Mac 10 and Tech 9. Lissy, though, taking down LW. The spam tries to come in. It doesn't find Lissy. And now it gets a little awkward. As now Nightmare goes down to Mac 10. We're in a 2v2, and this game has given us everything.
Flash is kind of giving away the hit here.
And Bomb is actually not down. These players might believe that it's a B hit, as they don't see anybody top ramp. And the flashes were from the ramp area. An A hit that's completely clean, and those flashes actually draw the rotates of the A players. And they get a free plant here. Very awkward, as Eclipse and Calf still don't realize that it's not B. And when will the coin drop? Penne is dropped. And they now know it's time to turn. And they're going to run their way in here. 25 seconds left. They've got to clear a lot of corners. They do have a kit. But you're feeling a little embarrassed that you were faked by those flashbangs.
Not a lot of time here. That pick lets him in.
Big kill, though. Big kill from Eclipse. Lissy's low HP on 18 health. If one of them sticks it and the other covers, this could be game for the 11th round. One's going to get on the bomb.
Oh, that's huge. He doesn't have it.
And I believe he does have time. No!
Oh, that's crazy.
That was so close. We can't hear the audio perfectly. It looked like the bar might have finished, but it didn't. What a round from the T side to convert that.
That's a massive clutch. Who was that with the final frag? Was that Lissy with the final frag there?
Yeah, Lissy gets the kill on the person defusing and then gets taken out.
I mean, talk about good, like really, really, really good clutch right there. Ignores the swinging player directly in the open to spam the smoke to win the round. That's good stuff there.
I mean, the flashes really convinced the CTs, right? They thought it was B for so long, and they just run out of time.
I thought it was full cooked when the flashes were thrown there. I was like, there's like...
Lobby crunch, though, from the CTs here. Warriors gets the kill on Eclipse.
Whoa. There's behind him in lobby. What the fuck?
And they're already pushed through. The T's take the site. But LW gets the kill. Freya gets the kill back on LW. Looks like it should be good. And then Calf gets another. If Calf clears Hut here, this could be weird. The nade comes in. Calf should now know there's a player up there. 2v2. Some of these rounds are really getting quite spicy.
Yeah.
Hush comes in. Will Calf clear this? Does clear it. Backside all on Kai now in a 1v2, and he goes down. I mean,
if you're Freya there, you're punching yourself because you're jumping up on the door for seemingly no reason, trying to get up on the hut, I think.
Yeah, it seemed like they were playing the door spot and wanted to try and get up onto the hut, and Calf clears that, which is very good for Calf to clear that. And it turns around, which should have just been a failed lobby crunch, into a win for the CT side, and it's now looking very ugly for UPS.
The back and forth nature of this is really, I mean, it's riveting. It's great Counter-Strike in that sense, but I mean, as a player, it's got to be driving you absolutely nuts when you're in the server and you win a round that you should not win. You get ecstatic, and when you lose the next round and you know you should have had it, I mean, the roller coaster of emotions going through there can be pretty bad. Good thing they're calling a timeout. This is, you know, calm the players down, you know, or calm yourself down even, and figure out what you need to do, get a proper strategy, and just execute it. We know that they can, either team can win this. They can really come back with this right here. But I mean, just look at the round. Look at the round wins. 2 wins for the Academics. Then they lose. Then they win. Then they lose. Then they win. It's literally back and forth as much as it can be right now.
It's back and forth, and we see that we have only Tech 9s and a Glock actually on Freya, as the T's are ready to play for the overtime here. But we've seen crazier things happen. This could be a round that goes anyone's way if the CTs don't play this correctly. And up on Eclipse. Verx is going to spam the smoke, reloading, and Warriors is going to push on that timing, and it's ugly, and he gets the kill again. What is happening in this game? Verx gets caught with his pants down, and now they know there's a player backside and a player heaven as they get yard control for free. The Opera's going to try and peek outside, but it does come in time, and LW is going to come up secret. Great shots from Eclipse, and great kills from Nightbear. That got dicey for a second, but the flank from the secret area and the under heaven coverage from Nightbear allows the team to survive after Verx is probably feeling a little bit worried after he goes down in mini there.
Yeah, especially off the string of ecos that were going down there. I think dropping the first is definitely gave him a little shiver. Great timing there on the flank from LW. Not a single one of them turned, and good hold from Heaven there from Freya. So good round from ACA.
And the op is out on Freya, and this round could be it, folks. With a round win already on Anubis for ACA, Freya misses the timing over blue, and is getting shot. Freya, not looking like themselves, is playing quite risky-wise on the top of Silo there. Eclipse is posted with the op towards Heaven. Thank the Lord that they weren't yard, otherwise that might have been an op duel one in Eclipse's favor. Push through the squeaky doors. The A attack comes in fast. They don't clear the vent. Brooks gets one, but Maxim trades. The A side seems to be there as Worry kills the one towards Heaven, but the mini kill from LW comes in. 3v3. Low HP on Worries, and this is the life for UPS this season. It has to come down to this clutch in the 3v3, as the CTs are obviously going to give this a look. Eclipse is the op in Heaven, giving time for the smoke to fade, and Nightbear has the flank in lobby. Nightbear clearing out lobby, sees what they can do. Lissy seems to be aware of the timing, but loses the gunfight. Nightbear gets one, Nightbear gets two. It's all on Maxim. A 1v3 here. Gets the second 1v1 against the Opera. Opera misses.
Cooking.
And it doesn't look like there's going to be time. Maxim has closed it down on 1v3. We continue nuke. What a crazy clutch there from Maxim, as the Opera, again, Eclipse in a 1v1 situation, cannot find the body. Crazy, crazy round, keeping them in there. Maxim has been incredible throughout this series and does it once again with a beautiful 1v3 glitch.
I mean, Maxim basically has been, I'm not going to say the only reason they've been in this series here. At least the last map, he was cooking. But, I mean, literally keeping them in the series with that one round there, that's incredible.
And the comms seemed a little delayed there, right? The Hut player goes down unless he dies, and the player fighting Heaven doesn't even turn around. They commit to the fight, and that really could have gotten out of hand, but a very, very nice clutch from Maxim. And you can't help but think that if Maxim hadn't shown up today in the way they have, that this could have been over in a much easier way, as they've been the impactful player on both maps so far.
I mean, you got to imagine in a mid round like that, right? Like you're on match point, you're trying to like bring the round in, right? And then you start losing guys left and right, and suddenly some guy gets a triple, and you're trying to figure out where he is. Big pick there through Hut.
Yeah, the T's were posturing towards ramp there. Verx says, I'm done with waiting, and pushes into lobby, getting one. We do have a secret push, but Verx gets another, and Kigu is probably crying as he watches this. Great pick back, though, from Freya on Eclipse. All on Kai here to get this kill. Verx gets a third. The IGL says, I'm putting it in my own hands. This map is ours. Almost gets fourth on Freya and pushes. The nade actually might do it. No, Nightmare gets the kill, and it's all Employees to seal the deal.
Ooh.
They line up 1v4 here. 35 seconds, gets 2 kills. Knows that Verx was lobby and is low on HP. This kill with Nightmare would be huge. The swing does not come in from Verx. 24 seconds for their life in this season. Can Warriors clutch this? But what a maneuver from Verx as he works his way up onto HUD, and I don't think Warriors is going to be aware of this. And the IGL, 4 kills in the final round, closes the deal, and that is a 2-0 win for the 4th seed ACA Masters versus the number 1 seed UPS Pretty Penne.
That was a wild matchup. 13-8. It was actually a bigger win on their opponent's map pick than it was on their own pick. It's absolutely crazy to watch how this unfolded. Very, very back and forth. I mean, we noted, obviously from our perspective, we have a much better view of what's going on than the players do in the server, in the sense of we can see the whole map, so we could see where the mistakes were happening. But we have to say, like, this is very nice Counter-Strike. This is very good play. From both teams, really. And unfortunately, only one team can go forward. And so today, it was the Masters from the academic franchise.
Yeah, I got to give it up for Verx and Co. Verx was really, really digging in Warriors there. There was a ton of good anti-stratting. Clearly, a lot of film had been watched. Really good calling. I got to give it up for LW coming on that last map. Eclipse really had good impact on Nuke, and Nightmare on Anubis powered them straight through to victory. So big team effort from the side of the academics. Pretty Penne, good individual performances. Unfortunately, couldn't get it all together to pick up a map here.
Yeah, and I think you have to say that that puts them in a very good spot heading forward, right? You've just taken down the 1 seed. You've been on a hot streak so far, and it looks like every single player on their team had their moment, right? Verx was calling extremely well, but also having an incredible impact there in the final round, as he did throughout the series. And Eclipse had moments where their op looked really good. I think we've talked about this a couple times with the operas in this tier, is that there could be so much more for certain teams if their Opper just had a couple more kills throughout these games, right? I think if Eclipse can continue to find the picks when necessary, this team can really, really push themselves all the way to a championship.
There's definitely potential, to be sure. The academics were playing very interesting here. I guess from what we were talking about before, they weren't doing as well earlier in the season, and then they turned it around. And that's a really good statement about what you can accomplish when you really work at correcting what you've got wrong and finding ways of getting forward in the season when the beginning isn't working out so well. You finish off with a really good scoreline, and then you kick out the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
Incredible work. I think hopefully we can maybe get an interview with one of the players at some point. We will see. So stick around if you're interested in hearing that. I think something to note, though, as they have dropped out a great effort from UPS, they showed a lot of tenacity throughout that game. Of course, Warriors calling was extremely, extremely important for them to get this far. And I think that Maxim had a very, very good series. You can't help but think that, certain moments they could have been more cohesive as a team, and I'm sure they're, feeling quite down about some of those rounds. But they have done a very nice job of getting this far, and I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. So we are going to cut to a short break quickly, and we will hopefully be back with an interview. If you feel like sticking around for that, we would love to talk to one of the ACA players, and you'll have to wait and see who that will be. So we'll be right back.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away.
Alrighty, and welcome back, guys. We are here with two of the winning players from ACA. We got Night Bear and LW. Congratulations, guys, on that big win against the #1 seed in UPS Pretty Penne. We know obviously you guys beat them earlier in the season on Nuke, but they did not have their IGL with them in that time that you met. But tonight you guys take a convincing 2-0 with an incredible performance. Let's start out with Night Bear. That 2-0 victory, Anubis, you were on fire. We saw so many times you were working towards B main, getting those opening picks. And there was that incredible round where you pushed in, got one, played your life towards pizza, get the kill towards cave down street, and then you know that there's a player in that smoke, and you just be super patient towards the plat area, getting a really, really convincing opening 3K for your team, seeming to constantly find openings and win rounds for your team. What do you think tonight allowed you to, put yourself in those positions where you individually showed up so importantly for your team?
I mean, I think like Verx's calling really sets us up in a lot of good positions. Um, Keeping a lot of like attention away from me while I can make those plays is always a key. Um, a lot of the guys, I mean, it's just such a full team effort that they allow me to pop off like that. Because I mean, I kind of dropped the ball in the nuke game. I mean, so I mean, they're able to really like we're a full team. It just without them, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I think that was seen right as you guys, you won the half on the start of Nuke, but as a team in terms of individual stats, no one really stood out, right? You guys were kind of working together, and they were more so having individual plays from certain players. LW, I want to talk about a very nice retake that you actually had with Verx. You were towards the decon single door on Nuke on B site in that second map. And you got that kill on the player towards back site, then the player dark, and then Verx obviously dealt with the player above you guys' clock. What was kind of communication throughout that map, including that round, that you think really helped you guys seal the deal?
I think we were just communicating our intent really well, our timings, making sure we were staying together and not taking dumb fights. We were losing a lot of dumb rounds that we had man advantage on the first map, and we really wanted to clean it up on the second map. And talking about the round you mentioned, I was towards single, just waiting for Verx to get towards ramp, and I communicated to him that I wanted him to make contact there first before I opened the door, so that guy would be looking towards him. So he ended up calling to open the door on his flash, and the timing was just absolutely perfect. Me and Verx, this is our second season together, so me and him are very locked in.
Yeah, it seems like you guys had a very, very nice connection there. Rich Bible, anything you guys want to ask these guys after a big win?
I bought ACA stock real early in the season. If you were a podcast watcher, any podcast watchers out there know. Big mid-season change, obviously Night Bear coming in, rifling in, I assume secondary calling with Verx over there. Big individual performances for the two of you. We talked about Verx's calling unlocking you. What about CAF's support plays and Eclipse's opping allows you guys to kind of move as a pack and then also spread 5 wide and get value?
Um, I think CAF. I mean, every team knows that if to be a good team, you have to have a high quality support player. Without a support player, you can only do so much. I mean, he has no problem clutching up, dropping throwing all the util, setting everything up. He has insane hearing. I mean, my man, I swear to God, can hear stuff all the way across the map. And he's actually I would say the second caller, honestly, just because of his knowledge and presence. I mean, he really is just absolutely incredible. And then Eclipse, I mean, you can't say enough good things about that dude. I mean, anytime you need something from him, he's down for it. Whether it's even playing for a trade, anything, a lot of operas, as we know, are baiters, and he has no problem. He has no problem acknowledging it and also like helping to bait for you if needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, even LW. I mean, there's no since I've been on the team, I feel like LW. Everything I've learned about him so far, I mean, he's just eh, awesome. Everything about this team has been incredible.
And I have to say the same about Night Bear. Since he's joined, I think that's 17 maps in a row that we haven't dropped, including officials and scrims. It's just been an absolute roll with him on the roster, and it's just nice having so many people that can step up. Like looking at the stats of that last match, Eclipse has been absolutely owning for us on the op. He put up a 0.9 and we still 2-0'd. It's just I feel so confident in the rest of the guys here. Calf, again, he's a support player. He knows every flash, every smoke you'll ever want to know, and he'll clutch up when you need him to. Verks, he's a great IGL. I'll listen to him always. I love this roster.
So how did you guys feel? Obviously, like, you're talking about how you guys feel very confident in your team play, and that was very obvious throughout the series. Was there a little sweat towards that round where you guys had the match point and you guys, I think it was a 1v3 that Warriors ended up clutching, Eclipse in the 1v1, runs out of time.
It
Does that
was
make you guys sweat a little bit, or are you feeling still confident after that round?
at least I was pretty confident. We've always been good at making comebacks happen. So even when the games are getting to those close points, I don't really sweat it. I trust my teammates to clutch up in the last few rounds and make the win happen.
Very good.
Yeah,
Bible, you got anything? Sorry, Nightbear, go ahead.
I was just gonna follow up on what LW said. I was gonna say, he's 100% right. I mean, we have a lot of faith in one another right now, and I mean, we've only been together in such a short time, but like, I feel like there's been incredible growth for such a quick roster change that like we knew we had rounds to burn, not that we wanted to, but it's just the fact that we kind of are playing with um not house money per se, but more so like just like no tilters. So it's not like you have to worry about like someone crawling up your ass about something like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
And the
great.
vibes are just great as well. Outside of the game, we're always having a great time.
That's awesome. Rich, do you know who the matchup will be?
I mean, Sav versus
They
DRG
rescheduled.
hasn't
I
played
don't think we'll
yet,
know
so
until the day before.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so that'll be does that make you guys, I know obviously Verx is a big demo reviewer, loves to really dig into the nitty-gritty of how teams are playing. Do you think that'll be a little tougher for him? Obviously not sure exactly who your opponent will be, and um, you know, leaving him a little less time to prep. What do you think on that?
I mean, they still gotta find a way to outshoot us.
I like it. That's
So
good
I mean,
energy.
I
That's
mean,
a good energy.
I mean, here's the deal. Plain and simple, we're the best they're going right now. We wake up in the morning and we piss excellence. So you got to stop us.
the
I love
Talladega
it.
Nights reference is amazing, bro.
All right. And since we went and walked the dogs, I'll leave you guys with an since
I
Verks
think
did.
your mic peaked, but that
It's
might have
my
been
it's
a
Mike Peaks.
that might have been a howl if there was one there. Anything, Bible? Do you have any questions for these guys before we send them off to get a little rest before their big match?
I mean, I guess I just have one question. Nightbear, do you think this will be your last season in Challenger? You've been putting up good numbers. Do you think there's a possibility you'll be moving up next season?
So this is actually going to be my last season in total. I've been around for quite some time. I've been around since season 5 or 6, and just life moves on, and so this is actually the end of the road anyway.
Holy shit.
So everything's lining up for this last season. Get the trophy,
Yeah.
go out
We
on a
want to give
high.
him a trophy for his last season.
I've
I'm
been to
loving it.
2. I've lost both times. It's not fun, but I'm confident in this group.
Well, third time could be the charm. Thank you guys for joining us for the stream, and thank you to LW and Nightbear for joining us for the interview. Greatly appreciate that you guys have fought a long series and been in here to talk to us. We'll wish you luck against whoever you face, and obviously a little bias here. I'm rooting for you guys with that trophy. I love to see a player like Nightbear get their silverware, and I know Rich would probably cash in on quite a big bet if you guys do take it down. So thank you
Yes,
guys for
sir.
being here. Thank you to everyone in the CSC stream. I'm Laws. I'm here with who?
Rich money, baby.
Bible Klinger.
And we appreciate you guys. We got Cameron King on the observing and running everything. So thank you to Cam, and thank you everyone for watching. Peace.